everybody, to the Midnight and the Podcast of Evil, episode 3. And today we're going to be talking about 1983's Cujo. I'm your host, Headbush. With me, as always, is Will,
Hello.
Sarah, Emily.
Hey.
And before we jump into the news stories, did anybody... I meant to bring this up last week, but we talked about From Dusk Till Dawn. Did you ever see Demon Knight, the Tales from the Crypt movie?
Yeah.
No? It was Billy Zane and Jada Pinkett Smith, CCH Pounder. So, apparently, From Dusk Till Dawn was originally supposed to be a sequel to Demon Knight.
Wait.
But how?
It was supposed to be a trilogy of Tales from the Crypt movies. And the second one was supposed to be a vampire movie, and it was going to be From Dusk Till Dawn. And then, I guess, that fell through because they wanted more creative freedom, and the studio wanted them to do other things. And then when they said no, that's why we got Bordello of Blood.
I really like that movie.
Which was a good movie, by the
Because
way.
they wanted the vampire movie as the second one of the trilogy. So them saying no is the only reason we got Bordello of Blood, which was pretty good, I think, too.
Yeah.
I like that movie.
No, that was worth a watch, definitely.
Yeah, Dennis Miller. I think Corey Feldman's in it for a good 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's all you need, though. Oh.
Emily, did you ever see Demon Knight or Bordello of Blood? Or
I have not.
I
have not seen either one.
I think Will said he didn't see Demon Knight either.
No, I didn't see that one.
You guys are... Will, you like Billy Zane? You want to see Billy Zane as like a sarcastic demon who's also kind of funny but yet an asshole? It's worth watching.
Okay, now I'm in. I'd give it a watch.
Touch up on that from last week. But now we're going to jump into some news stories here. And I think we all watched the trailer for this. We have a new Tom Green movie coming out. Interviewing Monsters. Tom Green hunts Bigfoot in comedy horror creature feature.
Why?
Is making his return to films, and this time it's a horror comedy. Interviewing monsters and Bigfoot. What do we think? Who watched the trailer? Will, did you like it?
It was weird. I mean, I'm glad to see Tom Green again. So I'm game for it. As long as he doesn't do anything like fucking stupid.
He beat cancer. I think he can beat making more shitty movies.
You don't think he's going to do anything stupid, really?
Look,
it's Tom Green. He's going to do something stupid.
After watching Freddy Got Fingered, it was such a weird experience after that.
Did you see the sequel where he got fisted?
I did not. I refused to watch it.
It's not a real sequel, but I don't think I can watch that either. It was bad enough watching him get fingered.
I mean,
it was horrible. I don't understand anything that happened in that trailer, though. Not one thing made sense to me in that trailer.
I don't
know why.
Does anything ever make sense in any Tom Green movie?
No, that's exactly why I don't get it. I don't understand Tom Green at all. I don't understand the fascination of Tom Green. And the trailer just left me puzzled by
you ever watch the old TV show? Did you ever watch the old Tom Green show?
Yes, of course I have. I grew up with that stuff. That's the
fascination. He's hilarious.
No, I don't think he is.
You don't. What about when he painted the lesbian mobile?
The slutmobile.
The slutmobile.
Yeah. Oh.
Maybe
it's not my sense of humor. I don't know.
That's trying to drive to work. And, Daddy, why don't you take this slutmobile to work?
It's not my sense. I guess it's not my sense of humor. I just don't understand. Tried to watch that trailer. Yeah, I saw that. I've seen his stuff. I just don't understand any of it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I never thought he was really all that funny.
You guys are killing. Well, I mean, this is coming from a guy who doesn't even like Poltergeist, so I don't know.
I mean, sorry.
I think it's all you, Randy.
Did you enjoy Freddy Got Fingered?
Not really. Nope.
No.
No.
Sarah's shaking her head no. Will's shaking his head.
I was horrified in the beginning, but I was laughing my ass off by the end of it.
And
The umbilical cord scene really had me like freaking out for a second.
That and when he was jacking off the horse, you didn't seem all that thrilled.
Yeah, I didn't really want to watch that.
I don't understand what drove him to that.
it's just disturbing. I don't know. Like I said, I just don't understand that kind of humor.
Well, I guess if Tom Green was here, he would say that you guys don't appreciate heroes. But
Okay, that's it.
well, now that you just buried him and ripped him apart, it's be glad to know that we're going to be covering Freddy Got Fingered in April, so that's cool.
Wow.
Great. Can't wait.
20-year anniversary.
Again.
I hope you guys can get your day off from your cheese sandwich factory. Yeah.
Shut up. Stop trying to reference the movie.
It's a good movie. All right. Our next news story. They finally announced they're actually making a real sequel to Cloverfield.
That I actually can get behind a little bit. A little bit.
I'm intrigued. I really want to see it.
I am too, because 10 Cloverfield Lane actually
But that was the Cloverfield movie.
ending.
Originally,
It was a
not
Cloverfield movie.
That was just a movie with John Goodman. And they bought the rights, and they were like, "Here, the last 10 minutes, we'll just shove the monster in there."
But you
That
thought
was stupid.
you thought he was great. Like you thought he was psychotic throughout the whole
movie was
movie, and
fantastic.
then at the end, the movie was great. And I'm kind of curious where they're gonna go with it, but I hope they don't do all that CGI bullshit.
I hated the last one, the Cloverfield Paradox. I thought that was terrible.
That one was interesting. I like that one.
I didn't like that one.
But they said
much about it.
this one's supposed to be like more of a sequel.
To the original, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, which I can kind of back because you kind of want to see what actually happens after she makes the turn at the end of the movie.
Yeah, I want to know. I don't know if it's like a sequel to the second one or just to the direct original.
They said it's a sequel more to the.
Twist.
No, they said it's going to be a sequel more to the 10 Cloverfield Lane more than anything else.
I mean, I hope not.
I really liked the first one. I thought it was fantastic. I remember when it came out originally, they didn't even announce the name of the movie. The trailers would just play, and there was no name or date.
I remember that.
And then we just got a date only without a name, and then I thought it was good. Emily, did you like Cloverfield? What did you think? Are you excited for the new one?
I don't really remember the original one. That's the only one I've seen a very long time ago. But I'm down with all kinds of alien and monster movies, so I'm excited for the new one.
All right, I know I'm excited. I think we're going to check it out, hopefully, when it comes out. Probably be a year or two off, but I'm looking forward to it. Our next news story, The Midnight Club. We got a new adaptation.
I'm kind of curious.
Club. Christopher Pike's 1994 novel, The Midnight Club, is becoming a Netflix TV series. And we've just learned that Mike Flanagan is joining as the co-creator. And now they also announced that joining the cast is Nightmare on Elm Street icon Heather Langenkamp. So it looks like Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street is going to be joining the Midnight Club, directed by Mike Flanagan, Dr. Sleep. And
I might be aging myself a little bit here, but I grew up on Christopher Pike, so I read all those books and everything as a kid.
I did not read them. They were around when I was growing up, but I was more into R.L. Stein. Yeah.
So R.L. Stein, but yeah, Christopher Pike was pretty much just like, well, I've heard worse than R.L. Stein, actually, the Fear Street and everything.
I don't know. I know of the books. I never read them.
What do you think?
Oh, you should.
You give it a watch?
Should.
Club?
I'll be watching. I mean,
Says,
unfortunately, I feel like it might get lost in my Netflix queue.
it's a hospice for terminally ill teenagers. A group of patients begin to gather together at midnight to share scary stories. They eventually make a pact that whichever of them dies first will contact the others from beyond the grave. So it looks like it's going to have like a supernatural feel to it.
Why would you want to do that?
Yeah,
they're
that's
they're
terrifying.
terminally ill and they have nothing else better to do.
Yeah, but
Plain
like,
and simple.
I
if
guess
I
if
die,
you don't really have that much to lose.
well, no, it's not even that. Like, if I
Exactly.
die and become a ghost, I'm not gonna be like, "Hey, dude, it worked." I'm gonna go fuck with a lot of people. Well, my friends are the least by the very bottom of the list. Okay, I'm gonna go fuck with some
Yeah,
people.
he's going right to Selma Hayek's house. We learned last week.
Oh yeah, oh, yeah, damn right.
So what do you think, Emily? You think he'll give the Midnight Club a watch?
Yeah, sure. Give that a watch.
I think it sounds interesting. I'll give it a try. The
Yeah.
cast is good. The director.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. Like R.L. Stein, they only did like redid the Goosebumps more than anything else that he ever did.
He did a couple other
So
ones.
this is
Fear
more of the
Street.
adult version that we grew up on. It didn't really do that much Fear Street though.
He had some other things.
The Haunting Hour was it
The
called?
Haunting Hour.
Okay.
I don't remember seeing that one.
I don't think he needed to do anything else. I think he made
Yeah. I
he
mean,
made plenty of money sitting at home collecting those Goosebumps checks.
Well, yeah, but that's what everybody knows him for is the Goosebumps, and that's like more of the young adult version more than the actual young adult version.
I think it's
His
better to be known
stories
for
are
something.
very horror related.
I think he's still making good money in those Goosebumps books today because you go on eBay or Amazon, try looking them up. Whew.
That's true.
A while ago, I wanted to get a complete set and reread them, and they go for a good $300-$400 used. It's too rich for my blood.
Well, definitely for Goosebumps books, yeah.
Yeah,
That you'll never read.
that's true. I got a whole bookcase in there of books that I never read. I can't keep my focus, you know. You put the TV on or something. Who wants to read a book these days?
It always distracts you, I know.
I don't have time for it, you know.
But on an audiobook, it helps.
That's even worse.
Oh, it's not.
I cannot focus on an audiobook for the life of me. Are you
You know what's weird?
yeah, me either.
I can do an audiobook and read another book at the same time, and it's so weird.
I'll listen to about 8-10 hours worth of podcasts a night, but you put an audiobook, I'm falling asleep.
What if it's a book
Yeah,
that
exactly.
read?
Nah.
I don't know, man. It's not as bad as you think it is.
Because I don't want. Listen, most of the times if I'm listening to something, I'm at work, so I can focus on the. I feel like I wouldn't be able to focus on the book. I wouldn't know what's going on.
Oh, okay.
Even if I'm just listening to it, I feel like I'd lose track of it.
I mean, it helps sometimes because I'll get the audiobook of a book I'm reading, and then just like when I can't read it physically, I'll just skip to the part where I need to be and just catch up like that.
Well, that just sounds like a lot of work.
I couldn't keep track. I'd rather just read the book
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah.
I'm trying to defend audiobooks, goddammit. No, I'm just Audible, if you're listening, pay me.
I'm not going to allow you to defend anything like that.
I was using Audible once. I was not a fan. You got to pay every month to use it, and then you still have to buy the individual books you want to. So I got to pay you $10 a month and buy the books.
Well, I mean, you don't have to buy the books though.
But then you're just paying them $10 a month for no reason.
Hey man, look, I'm trying to defend them, and like, again, Audible, if you're hearing this, William, pay me, okay?
I'm gonna stick to my original statement. I want to hold that physical book in my hand.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. There's nothing
There's
beats
nothing that exactly. Nothing beats that book. Like,
And
There's
the
a
book
certain-
has to
there's
be
a certain-
having it there.
me. I'd rather pay out the ass for the original first printing. I want the hardcover.
Oh well, yeah. But still, I mean, again, an audiobook it's not super bad.
Well, all right, guys. We got off topic here. Once again, bear with us.
But that's the whole point of this, isn't it?
Well, the reason we get so off topic is because at the end of the day, we're just, we're actual friends. Now that we got rid of the other co-hosts, Sarah and Will, I think I met you both the exact same day, all the way back in 2007.
Yeah.
We've all been friends ever since, and Emily I've known a couple of years now, and we
Yep.
could tell you some crazy stories. With
Don't forget, I was your boss. I was your boss.
Sarah
both
was
of you.
Annabelle's boss.
Remember that?
Which, if we told you some of the stories of what we did at work, then you would not think Sarah was a good boss.
Who's the best boss? No.
I mean, we should have been fired many times. Especially Will.
I was the best boss. Just remember that. I was. You'll never meet another one like me.
Dog food, and Will walks up and cuts the bottom out.
You son of a bitch. You know that was you. You son of a bitch.
All right, maybe that was the reverse. Maybe that was me.
You son of a bitch.
Well, it was comedy, you know.
Yeah, sure.
For me,
I had a I always had a blast with you guys. I'll just tell you that right now.
we're not gonna say where we worked. Let's keep that out, because
Yeah, for now.
that way we're not
Never.
banned for life. Because I'd like to go back there. They got some deals. And we don't know what the statute of limitations is with some of these stories we might jump into over time. So let's not.
Yeah.
So sorry we get off track. It's just because we're a couple old friends bullshitting and. All right, social media. You can find us on social media. You can find us at Midnight Evil Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. Midnight Evil Pod on Twitter. You can find our new podcast on Twitter, Taking Back Pod, P-O-D, on Twitter. And that show is going to be debuting sometime later this week. I haven't figured out if it's going to be on a Saturday or a Monday show. I thought Saturday at 6:05, but that's more of a wrestling call, so that's me being a wrestling guy. Then I thought Mondays. Got to see how much time goes into post here. We'll figure it out.
Well, you sure have the editing and everything.
Yeah, I got to give it time. Taking Back Podcast, Taking You Back, will be premiering later on this week sometime. And the first episode was a staff pick, and the first episode will be coming out later this week. Was picked by Will. It will be Dark Skies from 2013.
Oh, yeah.
And if you stick around to the end of this podcast, we'll tell you what's coming next week on the Midnight and the Evil. Midnight and the Podcast of Evil podcast. That's a mouthful. So
Didn't you pick the name? You picked the name, right?
I came up with the name.
Yeah.
Will endorsed it fully. Emily endorsed it fully.
I wasn't part of it. So.
That wasn't supposed to me.
All right, it was a good sounding name. What can I say?
Our movie this week, we're going to jump right in. 1983's Cujo. It is rated R. It's an hour and 33 minutes. It was released on August 12th, 1983. It's a horror film released by Warner Brothers Pictures. It had an $8 million budget. Box office was only $21.2 million, which seems pretty small. It looks like they only maybe a little bit more than doubled. It's based on Cujo, the book written by Stephen King, which came out September 8th in 1981. So it took him about a little less than 2 years to get it from book to screen, I guess. Directed by Louis Teague, produced by Robert Singer. Starring Dee Wallace, Daniel Hugh Kelly, Ed Lauder, Christopher Stone. I just realized watching this, every time Ed Lauder is on screen, I know him from somewhere and I could never place it. I think he's the cop, like the lead cop in Death Wish 3.
I never saw it.
You think
Charles
so?
Bronson. He's like the lead cop. He's the one that I'm pretty sure he's the one that like catches him, and then he just like lets him go and goes, okay, go kill everybody now.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, right.
That's not a spoiler. That's every Charles Bronson movie.
Well, what if you've never seen a Charles Bronson movie?
Thank you, Emily. Thank you.
1 and 2, you'll know the plot to 3.
All right, damn.
Just like Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
All their movies are the same.
Dan always ends up going into some karate tournament in a foreign country.
It's always in a foreign country.
Always the cop.
It's a karate tournament. How many freaking karate tournaments do you know in America, Billy? Will?
One of you guys ever tried watching Steven Seagal's show where he's like a cop?
Oh my god! I watched one episode and I was like, I'm done.
He just seems like he's wasted the whole show, and he's like really fat and old.
Yeah, I give him credit for hanging on in the game, but he needs to give it up at one point.
It, yeah.
Wasn't
Do
Shaquille
you,
O'Neal doing a show where he was a cop too?
I don't know. Maybe. Will, I was just telling Emily a story this week. So we worked for Universal Studios for a while.
Yeah.
Did he or did he not? Didn't Shaq come into the movies?
He did.
Well,
Up like the whole top theater came down. We served him some food and everything.
Oh yeah, he didn't tip. He's a
He
tall motherfucker.
So wait, you guys met him?
Yeah.
I mean,
Saw him?
yeah, we handed him the food. We didn't talk to him. Or
Well,
anything.
yeah, but like you still like saw him.
Yeah.
Like
No tip, like Will said.
that's wild.
He is.
I didn't believe it.
you didn't talk to him though. That's why.
I mean, we talked to him a little bit. Hi, how nice to do it. Here's your food. You know, I didn't want to be like, oh my God, you're Shaq. Big gentleman, really tall.
Oh,
And the only
I'm
other
sure.
thing is how tiny in real life Kevin Hart is, because we met him too.
Oh, did you?
Equally as
The
mind-blowing.
size comparison is
I've seen him at the shows, watching the live show, like the
yeah.
comedian shows and everything
He's
with
just
you and
as
everything.
tiny in real life.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah.
I was telling Emily a story though. We met these people working at Universal Studios.
Yeah.
She called me a flat out liar. Look
I
at
didn't believe him at first. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't blame you, Emily.
So Dee Wallace in the movie plays the mother. Dee Wallace was also known as the mother Mary in E.T. She was the mom in E.T.
Was she really?
And she's
It's been quite a while since I watched EP.
yeah, she's also been in a bunch of horror movies. She was in The Hills Have Eyes. She was in The Howling, Critters, Critters Attack. She was in Rob Zombie's Halloween, Lords of Salem, and she was in Three from Hell. Just to name a few, she's been in a bunch of horror movies.
Damn.
Wow. I'm
Did she
surprised
stick
Rob
to the
Zombie
horror-
used her as much.
I think Rob Zombie likes to use a lot of the horror icons. Mike
Yeah.
Barrett shows up, Ken Foree. What's her name was in Devil's Rejects. Can't remember now. I'm blanking here. PJ Souls, the girl from Halloween. See anything you like?
I don't recall.
So she's in the original Halloween. She's the one with the she pulls the sheet down. Says, "See anything you like?" So in Devil's Rejects, she's the mom with the little kid. When he comes up to the car and says, "Don't you think clowns are funny?" Like, and he's freaking the kid out.
It's been so long since I've seen any of those.
She's in that movie. That's her. She's the mom.
Oh, okay.
I remember that scene though.
So, Cujo, Will, when do you remember first seeing the movie?
That a
You
Ford
remember when you
Pinto.
discovered it? What was
Well,
that?
That a Ford Pinto is good to keep a Saint Bernard away from attacking you, I guess.
Not if he rips off the handles.
Apparently, but I mean, let's just say the Ford Pinto was built strong.
Do you remember when you first saw the movie, or what you thought about it when you first saw it?
I thought it was. I want to say I first saw it like 95, 96. And like, I mean, I didn't really understand the premise of it at first. I was like, okay, it's a dog. But then when he gets bit by like the bat, I'm like, oh shit, okay, I can see a dog that big.
I forgot until we had rewatched it. It was a bat. I don't know why I thought it was a raccoon the whole time.
Well, he chased a rabbit into a hole, and then the bat bit him. I was like, why didn't bite the rabbit?
Right in the nose. And what I thought was funny was that all the family sees this bite on the nose.
Yeah, because it was raw and
Nobody addressed it, not once.
Oh yeah, you don't have to. It's just there.
Hey, we all have dogs. We all love our dogs. Our dogs comes home missing a chunk out of the nose. We're gonna freak out. We're gonna want to know what happened. They just look at it and don't even say anything.
But
Well,
that's
I mean,
what
yeah.
I understand about that movie. That movie, the whole time, they didn't even see that he had stuff coming out of his eyes. He had blood coming out of his face. He was a mess. I don't understand that.
Sarah, do you remember when you first saw the movie or what you thought about it when you first saw it?
No, but I was deathly afraid of big dogs after that. I could tell you that right now. I was deathly afraid of big dogs.
But if this one made you afraid of big dogs, then you got to see the same dog in Beethoven and think, all right, maybe we're good.
Yeah.
Well, he was cute. He didn't growl at you. He didn't growl, but no, I honestly, this Cujo actually really did. But Beethoven was what, the 90s? Cujo was
Yeah.
what, the 80s? So yeah, I was deathly afraid of dogs. I pushed my friends in front of big dogs every time they barked at me.
Emily, do you remember when you first saw the movie or what you first thought of it?
I do not remember the first time I saw this movie. It was a very long time ago. When I first got into horror, I just binge watched a bunch of movies, and a lot of those movies I do not remember too well. So I figured, it's good to rewatch some movies sometimes.
Does anybody on this podcast think that the alcohol might be sometimes why we forget these movies?
Um,
No, do you not hear me?
For some cases.
I have fond
Will's
memories.
got a bottle of Jameson in his lap as we're recording.
I don't know what you're talking about, Jameson. If you hear that, pay me.
I had a beer, but I started falling asleep, so I had to switch to coffee.
Oh, you switch to coffee and liqueur, man. No, just
Now I like my coffee and my liquor separate.
nah.
Well, they stopped making what was it that we used to drink all the time?
Was it the Cafe Patron?
Yeah, they stopped making that one.
Did they really?
I believe so. I believe whatever is left in stock is what you can find these days.
Oh shit.
Did
Well,
anybody read the book Cujo?
Oh god, no.
No,
No.
no, no. I heard it was a lot different than the movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, most books are. Most books are usually better than the movies.
See, everybody says that.
No, I just heard it was a different ending from the movie.
Oh.
Everybody always says the book was better. The book was better. Now, 9 times out of 10, people saying that never read the book but watched the movie.
Understandable. I just did not care for Stephen King books. I just did not.
Well, that's
Are you
that's-
serious?
The first Stephen King book.
Some of the Stephen King books are good.
That's
the
a
first
crazy
Stephen
first
King
book to
book
tackle.
you read was It. Then I am surprised you read more because that one's got magical turtles and children gangbangs and.
Okay.
Yeah. What was up with that? No, I'm just.
We don't address that. We don't address the child orgy.
But it's there and needs to be addressed.
I think that's a question for
But
Stephen.
no, even
Now,
Stephen King's It had rape scenes in it and everything. The book, not the movie.
No.
So me nor Will, we never read the It book. Now one day we're at work at
Apparently the children all kind of ganged up on Beverly.
No, I don't think they ganged up on her. What I read was.
No, they in the book they kind of.
Well, what I read was.
Because they thought it would strengthen their friendship and their bond so
Yeah.
they could defeat Pennywise.
Yes, exactly.
For children.
Exactly.
I mean, it was statutory technically, but
How does that build your friendship? Like, Randy, we got to make our friendship stronger.
I don't make the rules.
Yeah. Don't
Well,
even,
that's Will. You better go on the
don't
other-
even think about it.
I'm just saying.
The rules are you don't tag team with blood relatives.
Oh, damn.
I don't make the rules, I just follow.
Sure you do.
Me and Will, though, we were at work one day when Shaq, not the basketball player, an old colleague of ours, came up to us and was talking about the child orgy in the book she was reading. And it definitely took us by surprise. I had to go back and think about the movies, and I don't remember that scene in the movie.
Yeah, it took me a minute to watch that movie, the original one, and I'm like, I did not see a gangbang scene at the end.
Well, there's no way they could actually put that in a movie.
They must have edited it out for the TV version.
Oh. Are you sure?
All right. Cujo. See, we're doing it again. Emily, did you have a favorite character in Cujo?
Can I say Cujo? I think he's misunderstood. They should have got him some help sooner.
I think the dog is beautiful until he starts foaming at the eyes and the mouth. And why was he your favorite character? Misunderstood?
They should have helped him sooner. Everybody could see that he had a bite. Everybody could see that he was acting differently. Loud noises started agitating him. He started growling at people. He started hiding away. Clearly something was wrong.
But the kid owner actually noticed it first, but his mom was too worried about winning the lotto at $5,000 and ran away from fucking home. So
did she actually win the lottery, or did maybe her family?
Yeah, $5,000.
I thought maybe her family member just sent her the $5,000 to get her away from the husband.
No, she just said she won the lotto and she wanted to go away for $5,000, which I guess was a lot of money in the '80s, but I don't know.
$5,000 is a lot of money now.
To a certain
Yeah,
extent.
but not to get really away.
I mean, we're still waiting on our $2,000. Take 5.
Hey, I didn't even get the $600 stimulus yet, so.
You didn't get it yet?
No, I haven't gotten it yet.
That's crazy.
Well, I would say Joe Biden if you're listening, but I doubt it.
Oh, well, if he is listening again, I'm just.
Emily has a point. I think they're always listening, actually. So if you guys can help us out.
Again, my bank account is open and available. Please do that. No, I'm just saying, just tossing that out there.
Will, did you have a favorite character in the movie?
Put that out there, Phil. Did I have a favorite character?
I mean, if your name is Will, sure, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I was trying to do boy, girl, you know? Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina. There's a difference.
Do they really?
Well,
oh my god.
We live in a new day and age. Things are swapping left and right, okay? I'm just
I was just talking about Kindergarten Cop because I wanted to watch it. It's not a tumor.
Favorite.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
I mean, you can give a favorite character spot to the bat that bit him. He started it.
Damn.
The bat started the whole.
Wow.
Now, what if that's
the bunny rabbit?
What if
that
it was the
Cujo
same bat
into
though?
the cave.
That's true. What if it was the same bat that grew up, mutated? Now that's COVID.
We should have took care of that bat back in the 80s.
To China.
I mean,
if it started.
This was 83. We're in 2020 now. That bat could have made it to China in 30-something years.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
You guys are brutal.
What if you have a favorite character?
I don't know if I have a least favorite character, but I don't have a favorite character. My least favorite character is the child. That child drove me nuts. I'm sorry.
The traumatized.
And I'm a mother.
Was terrified for
I'm a mother. No, it was the fact that I don't know. I have 3 kids, and that the way the mother felt was like she was just like, "Be quiet," and "All right, I'll get you, daddy," and everything. And the way she was yelling at him, I could relate to it. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess the screaming would probably get old after a while.
Well, for me, my favorite character was the husband.
Why?
The husband who took his aggression.
Why?
No, the main guy, Tad, or whatever the hell his name
Tad? Yeah, it was Tad.
Tad.
That's the son.
Why though?
Oh yeah.
Why?
His name was Vic, I think.
Vic, okay.
Yeah.
He's my favorite because he was a good husband. He was a good dad.
No.
Took his son out in the very first of the movie.
No. The first line of it, like the first line he actually.
He
didn't know at that point.
He must have known because when things broke down, he literally just looked at her and said yes or no. He didn't even have to say the whole, which made me think she's done it before.
Oh really?
But the first line.
Because he didn't say it.
No. The first line he said
yes or no, and she said yes.
The first line he said to her was, "This marriage is running out of conversation. Maybe we should talk about having a
Another
baby.
child.
Yeah, seriously?
Yeah, how do you do that?
That's
Like,
how things
going-
work back there.
Really? That's your favorite character right there?
Well,
I'm
character
just
can't be
saying.
the wife. It can't be the crying kid. It can't be the dog who went
No.
to people.
What about the other kid?
My
I
favorite
think his name was
characters are
Brett.
all right. Maybe my favorite character could be the mechanic's kid, but that's only because I like the actor.
Or the cop who came to see what was going on at the end.
What was the guy's name? I wrote it down. Billy Jane. He was Brett Camber. He was the
Oh.
mechanic's kid, and he was in Just One of the Guys. You ever see Just One of the Guys from 1985?
Definitely did not.
No.
It's
was a
about
good
this
movie.
girl. She's a reporter in her high school. She's trying to come up with a good story. So she cuts her hair really short. She dresses up as a boy and goes to a different school to try to pose as a guy.
Oh, I vaguely remember that movie.
And I think
In and out of that movie.
William Zapka, was that his name? I forget his name. The guy who's in Karate Kid, the Cobra Kai,
Yeah.
Johnny.
Yeah.
He's in it. He plays like the school bully, which he played in every
He was-
80s movie.
He was in
That's
that
who he
movie?
was.
Yeah.
I don't remember him
He's
in
the
that
bully.
movie.
He's the one that takes him and throws him in the lake or something.
I don't remember him in that movie. Well, it's been a hot minute since I
But
watched
the
that movie.
mechanic's kid is her younger brother in that movie, and he was good in that movie too. There wasn't a whole lot of deaths to this movie. There was only 3 people killed.
Are you
My
talking
favorite-
about-
My favorite death was the freaking bald guy. The way he was acting in that. And the way the dog looked at him was like, what the fuck are you
To me,
What
that
the
was
fuck
one
do you
they
think
showed
you're
the
looking
most, too. Most of the deaths were off screen, but his
Yeah.
they at least showed a little bit of.
they showed, it really was the dog's face. The way that they captured the face in the movie was like looking at him and looking down at the dog, and he was like, yeah, you think you're talking to me? And he and he attacked afterwards. So that was my favorite part.
Emily, what do you think? What was your favorite kill? No, there wasn't many.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably. It'd probably be the same as Sarah's because the cop didn't really deserve it. Mechanic, I think his name was Joe.
Gary was the friend's name, I think.
I think so. The mechanic Joe was the one who found Gary, and eventually Cujo comes running back into the room, and as soon as he looks at Cujo, he knows he's got rabies.
Yeah.
But by that point, it's too late. He
Yeah,
can't do anything.
Joe knows. I don't know how nobody else seemed to get it, but the mechanic immediately said, "You're rabid."
Yeah.
Especially when the owner and the bald guy were like talking to each other in the guy's house, and they're like, he had like goop coming out of his eyes, the
Yeah, he
dog, and he didn't even notice it.
Yeah.
He gave a shit, and he didn't even notice.
That's why I said if somebody would have addressed the damn missing hunk of nose.
Mm-hmm. Well, that right away should have been a red flag.
Yeah, it would have if
Yeah.
anybody paid attention to their animals in these movies.
It was different times, man. Different times.
I guess so. I think I would have noticed a hunk missing out of my dog's nose.
Are you sure? In the 80s, you wouldn't have noticed. Apparently, that's all.
I would have more noticed because there was less things distracting you.
Well, you sure?
You ain't get a cell phone to look at all the time. You know?
Yeah, but you had to interact with people. That's really distracting.
No, it's a dog. Everybody loves dogs.
What about cat people?
I'm a cat person. I'm a cat person, even though I have a dog.
There you go. I like cats too, but I mean, fuck it, I have dogs.
If you could count what you have as dogs, then yes, you have dogs.
Wow.
I mean, the smallest one is considered an angry squirrel. She's tiny, so
She fits
Hey,
in the
she's
palm of your hand.
intimidating.
yeah. She's so tiny.
As tiny as she is, I've seen her jump up on the counters and pull like me and Will's entire steaks to the ground and try to take them down.
Yep. I got to give her credit on that one. She
couldn't
does
even
it. She's
fit
earned
a
it.
steak in her body, but she'll take it down.
It's totally worth it. Fucking dog. No,
There wasn't since we didn't have many kills, we also didn't have a whole lot of special effects.
No, you didn't need that much of it, though.
I think you saw the dead bodies afterwards, and then Cujo's progressing face with the rabies, but I don't think there was any other special effects that I can think of.
Now, there was another thing I wanted to bring up. Okay, you know how Cujo killed the mechanic first, right?
Yeah.
Why is it that when
It's not the mechanic.
it was what?
He killed Gary first.
Okay,
Mhm.
but
Oh, the mechanic was second.
was he second?
Yeah, then the cop was third.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to say it was the second guy because remember he went into the house and he was trying to load a shotgun, right?
Yeah.
Why is it back in the 80s when you had guns you didn't keep them loaded? No,
I guess because you kept them mounted on the wall and not in a safe.
I always found that weird. Why have a gun and not keep it loaded?
Well, because you remember all those 90s commercials? Kids go, oh man, I'm so high, and then they blow their heads off.
Oh yeah,
But-
smoke a little reefer and they
That
start.
was the 90s because the 80s. The
Well, it's 'cause
90s
the 80s,
is what
we
did
knew how
that.
to
The
do it.
80s probably you learned your lesson from it.
In the 80s, we didn't, abuse our drugs. We took pretty good care of them.
Kept them warm in the middle of the night. I got it.
It was a good friendship.
If you want to say that, go for it. I'm just... Can
What
I
do we
change
think of
my
the
favorite
ending,
character?
Emily? Did you like the ending? Would you have changed it?
I don't know. The ending was pathetic. I'm sorry.
Well, at least Tad made it. At least the child who did nothing wrong in this movie survived. So that was the one good thing about the ending.
Yeah.
They left it kind of open. The mom, Donna, she did get bit by Cujo, so we'll see if she gets some rabies medicine.
Yeah, I'm always waiting for that. I'm waiting for, Stephen King goes, well, it's been about 40 years. I guess I can make a sequel.
I guess I'll write a sequel now.
We got a sequel to The Shining. And that was awful. We didn't need a sequel to that awful, terrible movie.
All right, let's separate the movie from the book, please, because the book was not as bad as the movie. It's something that's very hard to put. Some of his books, I feel like, are very hard to turn into a movie. Certain parts of it, visually. You know what I mean? All right.
Yeah, but you think about authors. He's turned a lot of his books have turned into movies.
A lot of his movies, a lot of his books have been turned into movies.
They have been.
They did. They have. Yeah, they have.
I know, but not all of them were good.
No, I didn't say they were good. I just said that a lot of his books turned into movies.
I liked Christine. I like Sleepwalkers a lot.
You know,
They
I
just
didn't
did
like
Gerald. They just did Gerald's Game, and that was one of the first Stephen King books I ever read. Was Gerald's Game. Carrie was another one. Salem
Wasn't In the Tall Grass? Wasn't that King?
Night.
It was Joe Hill, I believe, who was Stephen King's son.
Okay.
They turned. I mean, if you think about authors, that they turned a lot of his shit into miniseries and movies.
Now, Will, what were you saying? You said you didn't like Sleepwalkers?
No, I didn't like it at first, but after I watched it 2 more times, I was like, you know what? It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I liked it. I hadn't seen it until maybe a year or two ago for the first time, honestly. But then you had all those cats. I'm in.
So what?
Sleepwalkers. They had cats all over the place. Who doesn't like a movie with 1,000 cats? I mean, wasn't one of your all-time favorite movies Night of 1,000 Cats?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Well, so that was a deep cut there.
That movie was so weird, dude. It was...
What do we think of the ending of the movie, Sarah?
I don't know. I don't like it. She just gave over her kid, and I don't know. It just ended there. It was done. I don't know. I thought there was more to the movie than there really was. Honestly, it's been so long since I've watched it.
Yeah, it's been a while since I had watched it, and I didn't realize how much they just sit in this one spot.
They I'm like, why do they have to go to the mechanic all the way in the middle of fucking nowhere? Like, that's honestly what I was thinking throughout the whole movie. I'm like, this makes no sense to me whatsoever. They're like a rich family and they're going to a mechanic and at a barn somewhere up the fucking road.
I think it's because another mechanic at first, and the guy said it was going to be like a long wait time or something, right?
So
He
they
said
couldn't
leave your
fit
car
him in,
here.
so they recommended.
Yeah.
And then the mailman,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was the mailman.
the
wasn't
mailman said you can go out here and he can get you today probably.
So what you're saying that it's
Yeah.
all the mailman's fault? I'm just
Yeah. So it all equates back to it was the government's fault.
son of a bitch.
it? There's also a part in this movie where we see the post office and there's a package there for Joe the mechanic, and they tell the man not to bring it, just to leave it there and wait for further instructions.
So it's just like the real post office. You wait around for your packages that are sitting there for weeks.
That's just convenient. That's convenient as it is, you know, like just throw that in there. Like, oh, why isn't the mailman coming today? And my son is freaking dehydrating in a car. Well, that's because he decided to not deliver the mail that day.
Overall, I thought the movie was good. The ending, I wish the mom would have died. Maybe that's just me.
No, it's not just you. It's not just you. She annoyed the shit out of me.
More than the child.
No, I mean,
I don't know.
Well, the kid was whining because he's a kid.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I know. I'm a mother and I understand it all, but I'm like, I don't know. She could have gotten out of the car.
Whole podcast has been like, that kid should have fucking died.
I'm not saying that, but it's the fact that I'm a mother. I'll protect my child for whatever it is. I'll run out the fucking car and get that baseball bat and fucking beat the shit out of the dog. I'm sorry. That's me as a mother. I will defend my child to no end. And before he's even whining to the point that he was whining at, I will.
Did anybody catch that in the movie the kid was watching Scooby-Doo? I thought that was pretty.
Yes, I love Scooby-Doo.
So it's funny that in the movie about the dog, he was watching Scooby-Doo.
Well, I mean, it was the 80s, so Scooby-Doo was on point at that time.
Too bad the kid didn't have an iPad in the car. He could have watched Scooby-Doo while the dog was attacking him.
I don't think you would want to watch a show about a friendly dog while getting killed by a mean dog.
Well, he wasn't watching it at the time.
Well, it would have distracted the child long enough to get through it.
I don't think you want dogs around anytime soon.
I always find it weird watching these movies. I'm like, okay, I get it. It's a big dog. Why can't you put him in a headlock or something? It's a dog, man. I put dogs in headlocks before.
Well, isn't this like a 200-pound dog?
No, that's the 200 dog.
Listen, my 50-pound.
Oh no, Saint Bernards aren't that big.
Maybe like 100 pounds it could be, 50 pounds, 100 pounds, depending on how the dog, how old it is, how big it is.
I want to say at least close to 100, but there's no way. Like,
okay,
he looks pretty big.
Here's the thing: I'd be more terrified of like a pack of like rabid like Shih Tzus than I would be a Saint Bernard.
Why? You can kick them.
Yeah, but what if they like come at you in waves like critters?
Listen, I was mauled by a freaking dog when I was younger, but it was a Rottweiler.
Oh, see, that's different though. Like.
And then I fell in love with Rottweilers, and that was the dog I had most of my life. But speaking of Rottweiler, who saw Man's Best Friend?
She looked at that fucking bat and was like, I want to beat the crap out of the dog, but she didn't do it. And she could have probably tried to outrun it. She got bit by the dog anyway, so might as well fucking go down fighting.
Yeah, at that point, yeah.
Well, have you ever seen Man's Best Friend?
Yeah.
No.
No.
No?
I heard about Man's Best Friend.
Wait.
But I did see Man's Best Friend.
I think it was 90.
I watched the trailer of Man's Best Friend.
92, 93 or something like that.
Oh, no.
Some of the movie about a killer rabid dog. Man's Best Friend?
No.
Emily's never seen Man's Best Friend. I think I'm the only one.
Man's Best Friend. When I heard that Man's Best Friend was about like a genetically engineered dog, I was thinking robot, of course. But then all of a sudden, I watched the trailer and I'm like, okay, I could deal with that because it's like a mix between all types of animals.
Yeah.
And that's kind of interesting. I honestly think that's interesting, and I want to actually watch Man's Best Friend just for that fact to kind of compare the two.
One of those early '90s horror movies that I discovered in the video store. I think I first saw Cujo on VHS. I'm pretty sure, and way back in the day, even though my grandpa ran a video store after his closed down, you could rent videos at the local Pathmark. I don't know if you remember that.
We didn't have pathmarks down here.
But we had one over in West Babylon, and you could go in there and rent like movies. And I'm pretty sure the first time I saw Cujo was we rented it from the Pathmark over there in West Babylon, and with a big blue sham like clamshell case. And
Now, if I can go back to Emily's point, she's correct. Those dogs can weigh up to 140 pounds to 180.
All right.
So yeah, I give her credit. I mean, there are some Saint Bernards that reach 260, but not often.
Even 100 pounds would knock me on my ass.
Now I get it.
Dog. He looks like he can knock you down. No
Especially
problem.
if he comes at you running.
I thought Cujo was adorable pre-rabies.
Of course. My dog fell in love with him, so.
Yeah. Well,
My dog wanted to fight the rabbit with him. That's all.
I guess we got a happy ending for the movie, if you can call it that. You know, looks like everybody in the family lived. Whether or not the mom got rabies and killed everybody later on, we'll never know, I guess. But
that should have been the sequel.
It appeared to be a happy ending. But Will, what do you say? Would you watch Cujo again? Would you recommend it to people who haven't seen it?
I enjoyed it for what it was. I don't know if I'd recommend it, especially to people who are dog people. I don't know. Like, it wasn't a bad movie.
What would you say? Like a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle?
I'll give it a thumbs up. It's definitely one of those things. If you want to watch like a horror movie involving animals, I'd put it on the list of it.
What about you, Sarah? Would you watch it again? Would you recommend it?
Thumbs in the middle, like a little bit, because it's a slow movie. It really is, and if you're not prepared for that,
it would have been
you're
a
not
thumbs
going to
up
get
for Sarah,
into
but they
it.
didn't kill that little annoying kid, so.
No, my God, you're turning me into a monster. No, it's the fact that it really is like a slow starting movie, but that's like the 80s type of movie feel. It kind of starts out slow and then it gets into it a little bit more. I would recommend it because you have to watch it if you're going to like anything horror related or Stephen King related.
Emily, what would you say? Would you recommend it? Would you watch it again?
Yeah, I like this movie. I would definitely recommend it. Like what Will said before, if you're looking for a horror movie involving animals, it's a good one.
Would you give it a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle? What were we thinking?
Give this a thumbs up.
Thumbs up. For me, I'm going to say thumbs in the middle. It feels like it's long.
Thank you.
Now, it's not a bad concept, but it's a lot of just sitting in the farmhouse.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see more backstory with the family, if anything. More of the dog before he got rabid.
Somebody agrees with me.
It feels like a lot of the movie is just the dog trying to get in a small cracked window.
Yeah.
I think it's a good movie. I would watch it again. It would be a while, probably in between, but I would watch it again. I would recommend it if you've never seen it. I would also recommend if you haven't seen it, go watch Man's Best Friend. Another great movie about a killer dog. But that's what interests.
I definitely have to watch. I have to watch Man's Best Friend now because I've never watched it before. So that's definitely something that got caught on my radar after mentioning Cujo to a few people.
Yeah, I would definitely watch it. It was a good movie.
I'm
I don't remember
just,
everything about it because it's been a long time since I've seen it, but what I remember was pretty good.
I'm just upset that she didn't like double tap the dog like with the revolver. I'm sorry. She picked up the revolver and she's like, "Oh, it's
Yeah.
all over." No, I would have double tapped him in the skull. I'm sorry. You know,
I mean, I don't want to see a dog die, but yeah.
neither do I, but I'd rather at this
he
point.
or the dog has to die, right?
Yeah.
And if we were overseas, it wouldn't even be a question. We'd be eating them right now.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
Well, somebody's dog did not enjoy it.
Huh.
I'm getting attacked by two dogs right now at the same time of talking about a dog movie.
She's got 2 Cujos in her hands.
I heard you talk. No?
Well, guys, that's going to wrap it up for Cujo. Before I get into what's coming up next, once again, you can follow us on social media. You can find us at Midnight Evil Podcast on Facebook and Instagram, Midnight Evil Pod on Twitter. You can follow our new podcast, Taking Back Pod, P-O-D, on Twitter. Taking You Back podcast is going to be premiering sometime later this week. We haven't figured out the day. But the concept is we're going to take you back to the movies you love. We're going to talk more horror, more sci-fi. We're also going to do some comedy, some drama, some serious stuff. We got a lot of staff picks, so I'm assuming we're going to see some superhero movies with Will on board here at some point, maybe.
You're gonna make me watch like Toxic Avenger. At least I get some say in something else. Like,
Well, you're going to punish me for making you watch a great movie? That doesn't seem fair.
yeah, you think it's great. No, I'm just...
I mean, if you really want to get with me, please, for the love, unless you want to hear me rip into these movies, please don't ask me to watch Star Wars or Lord of the Rings or anything like that, because I'll just.
Oh, no.
I'm putting those on my list. No, I'm just... You will watch Lord of the Rings, goddammit. No, I'm just...
You will watch what we want you to watch, Randy.
Yeah.
And that's it.
All right, but don't get mad at me when I'm ripping apart your favorites.
All right, maybe you can start off on The Hobbit, and then we'll go to Lord of the Rings.
Will and me went to go see a Star Wars movie. I don't know which one. Will, I don't know if you remember which one. It's the one with Harrison Ford, where he came back after all those years.
Was it The Force Awakens?
Whichever one's Harrison Ford gets killed in.
Yeah, that was The Force Awakens because you were down here. Were you?
So we go to see this movie in IMAX, the big theater, and you can ask Will. I passed out, snoring out loud,
Oh
pissed
my
off
God.
all these giant Star Wars fans.
People were staring at him.
They're all like, "Who the hell is snoring in this movie?" It's like opening day, first movie.
Will should just pretended like he didn't know you.
I did. I pretend. I don't know this guy.
In fairness, I also fell asleep during the Avengers, if you remember, and they were not happy about that either.
That I don't see how you
Yeah.
can sleep during.
I don't remember which one, but it was one of them, and they were not happy with it.
Hey man, it's not your fault. No.
But yeah, Taking You Back podcast. We're going to start a new secondary podcast so we can talk more movies in case you can't get enough of us. And our first episode is going to debut sometime this week, and it's a staff pick. And Will picked the first movie, and the first movie we're going to talk about is 2013's Dark Skies. So that's going to be coming soon. As far as our main feed here, Midnight in the Podcast of Evil, we got some anniversaries coming up in the next couple of months, and our movie next week is a classic. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. Next week, we're going to be talking the 4-year anniversary of My Bloody Valentine.
Wasn't a fan.
Oh,
I saw it in theater.
I haven't. I don't think I've ever seen it. Honestly.
well, I don't know if you're thinking of the remake, maybe, because you said you saw it in theaters, and the original came out in 1981.
Yeah, then I'm thinking of
You
the
saw that in theaters then?
because I remember the whole minor and all that bullshit. Like,
Yeah, that must have been the remake you saw in theaters.
yeah, definitely.
All right, well, we're going to be talking the original My Bloody Valentine,
Oh, okay.
1981. It's a 40-year anniversary. So next week we're going to be talking about that. Scream Factory, if you guys are Blu-ray or DVD collectors, Scream Factory just came out with a brand new steel book that comes with an exclusive action figure from NECA, and lithograph poster, and it's fantastic. I would show it off on the podcast, but Scream Factory is always late, and mine's several weeks late. So, hell, I still haven't got They Live or Prince of Darkness, which were January releases supposedly.
Oh, dude, They Live was a great movie.
I would like to cover it one of these days if my movie ever showed up, Scream Factory.
Okay.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up for this week on the Midnight the Podcast of Evil. I was your host, Headrush, Will, Sarah, Emily. Thank you for joining me.
Always a pleasure.
Bye.
We're going to see you guys next week for My Bloody Valentine, 40-year anniversary. Thank you for joining us.